Hi, I'm Joyce and I'm a graduate mechanical engineer at BAE Systems. So BAE Systems are a technology company that create sort of defense and aerospace technological solutions. So think about planes and ships and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, so as a graduate engineer at BAE, you sort of rotate for me it's every 6 months, but I think now they're going into once a year you rotate into different areas of the company. So at the moment I'm in mechanical engineering, which is the more mechanical systems I'm working on the ships at the moment. But as a graduate engineer, you sort of just rotate into any area of the business that interests you. So you could be in the planes, you could be with the ships like I am. There's also more radar or specific technology sort of areas as well. So you sort of just rotate where it interests you in your career. As a graduate engineer, you definitely have quite a lot of variety in your day. It changes a lot. Everyone's very sort of focused on developing your career as well. So if there's anything interesting going on, they'll sort of take you out of your day-to-day job to take you to sort of an interesting seminar, or if something exciting is going on in the shipyard, you get to go. So that it is quite a lot of variety from just the day-to-day engineering work you do, I like it a lot, which is good. Yeah, so I had quite a roundabout way of getting here. I initially, when I finished school, I started doing veterinary, which is very different from engineering. Did that for a little bit, figured out I didn't quite like the veterinary so much, but I liked the physics and the maths part of it. So then I swapped over to engineering, loved engineering, finished that engineering degree, and then got straight into working at BAE, which has been good. I was interested in BAE first because they have that rotation structure. So when I finished uni, I had my degree, but I didn't quite know what area I wanted to use it. So I liked the fact it rotated because then I could sort of try different areas, see what I liked, and then sort of get into that career. And then with BAE as well, because they're such a big company, like a global company, there's so many different areas that you can go into. So I really like that part of it as well. What I've really enjoyed is at the moment working with the ships. I'm sort of tangibly doing something that is actually affecting an outcome, if that makes sense. So like I get to work on these ships. I'm having a direct effect on these big ships that are going to be a massive thing in South Australia where I am for years to come. So it feels like I'm actually having an impact on something, which is really good. A massive one, especially in engineering in defense, is that it's very boys club, only men do it. There are quite a lot of females, and BA especially are trying to get a lot more females involved. So that's a common misconception. There are a lot of females, and it isn't a boys' club. Like, you all can get involved. It's all a good time. And then another thing would be that working on a shipyard, you're sort of in the shipyard walking around the whole time with your high-vis vest on, having to do sort of shipyard tasks. Whereas there is like I'm in an office, which I personally enjoy being able to do more of the sort of behind the scenes technology based stuff rather than going out with the ship per se. But you get to sort of choose where you go. It's not like you're forced into being in the shipyard the whole time, which is good. For sure, that's been one of the most eye-opening things joining BAE was how flexible they actually are. The team I'm in at the moment, we do sort of 50-50 work from home and then in the office, but you can sort of adjust that as needed. So not as applicable to me, but for people in the team that have kids, like they often work from home during school holidays so they can look after their kids, and that's fine. for me, I do a lot of rowing before and after work, and they're really fine with me. Sort of, if I'm a bit late, I can work a bit late, like adjusting my work schedule around that so I can still do what I enjoy. And yeah, the working from home flexibility is one of the best things, I think, because you can just sort of adjust how you need. If you've got someone coming to fix your fridge, you can work from home while they're doing that. So that's been really good. Grades, they're important, but they're not as important as you think they are. They're not the be all and end all. If you've got sort of those more soft skills like teamwork or leadership that you've got experience in by doing stuff outside of school or eventually outside of university, that looks really good to employers and at BAE as well, because they really value those sort of soft skills. So definitely stay involved in those sort of extracurricular things you enjoy that develop you as a person, and try and get some work experience if you can, because that also looks really good, rather than devoting your whole life to getting really good grades, is what I think. I think with BAE, what's really quite exciting is that they're involved in a lot of projects that are being developed in Australia and will be being developed in Australia for years to come. So for example, with me and the ships, they're going to be building those ships for decades. So I can sort of develop my career along with these ships getting developed. And there's lots of projects like that. So it's a really exciting space to be in Australia, because you're sort of going along with the project as it's getting developed. So that's what I think is good about BAE. Having started work at BAE, basically as these ships are starting to get built, I definitely see myself, like, as I develop and sort of move up in my experience, the project's going to keep getting more and more exciting, because we're eventually going to have a ship that will be on the water. You know, you get to see the fruits of your labor somewhat. You get to see what you actually have produced. I think that is a really exciting prospect in my future. So excited to see where that goes. The advice I would give, first of all, is to not be, because I know when I was at high school, I was a bit put off by doing the sort of more tech subjects, like the hard maths and physics and stuff. One, because I thought it would be too hard, and two, because at the time, not a lot of females were doing it. And so it was a bit of a hard decision to make, but I would say just do it. Be the change. Like, if there aren't many females, you can make a difference by joining that, and then I'm sure your friends will come with you too, because probably there's a lot of people feeling like the way you are. And also, it's not too hard if you put the work in. Like, you can do it. And as I said before, the grades aren't the be all and end all. Like, the experience around it is what's important. And then also, I would say, I started doing veterinary and then changed to engineering. If you decide to change your mind later on, it's not a big deal. It felt like a big deal to me at the time, but now that I am where I am, it wasn't such a big deal. I'm happy where I've ended up, so it's all okay.